Top Hill Recording Podcast, episode 183. Our special guest tonight, Peyton Boling.
About the man that I am. Rose in a skirt. She's the only thing that ain't left, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dude, pick up that mic. Hey, how about that?
That was killer, man. Great fucking pipes, dude.
Oh,
Jeez.
thank you.
For
Yeah,
Thank you,
that
man.
is killer, man.
No doubt. You know, well, number one, welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's been
dude.
a long time, man.
Dude, it's been a long time. It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
And once you play and sing a song, it reminds me of like when we first started all this podcast stuff. You were in the first probably 50, I'd say. Definitely 100, but I'd say probably the first 50 episodes. And definitely one of the first that we did on the one shot, one mic thing. You know, I mean, it was really fresh, new to us. And I remember you came in, and when you left, Brad was like, that guy, man, he's got something. I don't know what it is, but we gotta keep up with him. We got to, like, anything we can do, we got to do something. Because I just remember, man, I truly remember that he was just blown away by, I think, your raw ability and talent, and definitely those vocals, dude.
They're crazy, man. Not a lot of people can sing that way. Like,
No.
a lot of people try.
No.
But
It's just loud, I think.
no, it's not just, it's not loud, man. You're right on. Like, those notes you're hitting are not easy to do. Really, and just great songwriting too. Great picking. I love what kind of tuning are you in right now?
That's an open D.
Is it D?
That's an open D. I'm crazy about just weird fucking tunings. Like the Witch that I played on here was in
Opening song on your record, right?
Yeah. That's in open C sus4 add 9.
Oh, Brent would love this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I'm all about that weird shit. So.
Well, I mean, weirdness, it just whatever it's accompanying, man, it creates a vibe on a lot of the stuff that like really resonates with your voice. And a lot of open tuning kind of gives you that ability to kind of do some stuff over top of it that I'm not sure you can do if you're trying to not play in an open tune.
Yeah,
You know?
I can bar a whole fret and be a full chord, and then I can just do weird shit that I would never be able to do on that. And it lets me focus more on being able to sing a little bit more. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm to be able to control your vocals like that, because like Earl said, it's not loud. You would think that it would be, but I mean, I'm just kind of a little nerdy, but I'm looking at this board in front of me, and you're playing the guitar, and it's -24, and it gets up there to the -6. But even when you're at your loudest point vocally, you didn't peak anything. And to be able to sing with that type of emotion.
Yeah, and a lot of resonance. And you're like 6 feet away from us in this tiny room, and you were not loud at all, man.
Yeah. It's just crazy the amount of control. I mean, is that something like, did you develop that? Was that something that you naturally had, or did you really have to focus on being a vocalist?
Yeah, well, so I was a guitar player for years, and was too afraid to sing in front of anybody. And see, I grew up and listening to like Chris Cornell and Freddie Mercury. I was a huge Queen fan, and so I thought every singer should sound like that. And then when I started playing, but when I started playing guitar and shit, and like being in bands, there was no singer that I thought was, good. And I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just try to do it myself. And I didn't sing it. I started singing when I was 18 and didn't sing in front of anybody till I was probably 20.
Really?
Or so. Yeah.
So when you started to sing, where would you, just in your room playing guitar?
Yeah. Just
trying to figure it out. Did you feel like when you started that you were kind of naturally gifted in that area? So it was a muscle you had to
and I mean,
flex.
it's still, you're always going to be your worst critic. And I still, I've always think that I could totally be better. Dude, every time,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that in you for sure. And you do act, you carry yourself like that, like with a humbleness, which I appreciate. But we've had a lot of people in this room. We've had a lot of great vocalists. But like, dude, listening to your record, EP, right? Mm-hmm. It's not really, it's 6 songs.
Yeah.
30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's up,
30 something.
It's up there. Yeah. Cause I was like, all right, all these are over like 5 minute average. Yeah. And, like vocally, I don't think there's much out there that can touch it, especially from a male vocalist. The only other person that kind of comes to mind that doesn't, it's a different thing, is Dusty Bo has the ability.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, his ability and his range is unbelievable. But as far as like listening to a record and listening to the vocals of somebody that is a local or Kentucky based talent, man, I don't think that there's a lot that I've heard that matches the emotion. Just the register. I just really dug it.
It's insane, man. You have a great voice, and you're definitely humble. I have a feeling you started out sounding pretty good, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean,
no one will ever know.
Yeah, so you have a killer voice, and you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people around that can sing, but there's not a lot of people that can do what you just did. It's really cool to see. I'm glad that I can fill in. Yeah, it is fun. It's nice to be on this side.
Even though it took you a little effort to get here today.
It did.
How was that? What happened,
well, I worked 10 hours and then it started piss pouring rain right at 6 when I got off. I changed clothes, got soaked, lost my keys in the grass, ruined all my shit, and then made it over here. Someone gave me the wrong address too. I don't know what that was about, and I ended up at the wrong fucking house too.
I apologize. I apologize on that. There are two things. One, you've been here before, and I got you really close, but. And the other address I gave him was at my sister's house, so it was a family member.
Tell them they acted like they didn't have any fucking idea who you were. I said, it's Neil there, and he looked at me, he's like, no.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Man, by the way, again, thanks for joining. I do got to ask you, man, you had a pretty busy weekend. You had a full band show this weekend.
I did, my first one. Yeah, I'd been playing as a trio a little bit, just with myself on acoustic and some drums and bass, but we had some sit-ins yesterday. Did a full five-piece, five-piece band with Oliver Sayani and Nate Kramer, who plays with Sweet G and The Shine, and a great band. It was killer. It was a fun time.
Oliver's a great fucking guitar.
He's killer. Yeah, I've been kind of bugging him to play with me for a while, and finally he's like, "Yeah, I'll sit in."
So, he's a super chill dude. He's as busy as anybody.
Oh, I know he is
in the world. And he doesn't live here anymore.
No,
so that hurts.
It was an expensive show. We were supposed. I don't know if you're familiar with like the Highlanders have been in here. Yeah, they were supposed to be the headliner yesterday, and they had to back out last minute, and so I had to fill in. Tyler Hood came and played, but I was hoping big band to close it out and a lot of people, so there was not that. So the show was fun. It cost me a fortune, but by the time I paid the band, but it was fun as hell, and it was good.
Good, man. Yeah, I knew I saw a little clip and thought, all right, Earl's having a good time tonight.
Yeah, I was. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of crazy, just kind of going on the local talent thing again. There was a 7 Cents Fest in Louisville this weekend that had just crazy.
It was dope.
It was awesome, man. Awesome. It wasn't as attended as I hoped it would be.
Or
thought it would be.
All those acts deserved more people. Even I saw Aaron Lee Tejan, however you say it, on Friday.
That's where I saw you.
Yeah, it was the only act I saw on Friday, and there wasn't that many people. It was cool to see him in that kind of environment, though. And then Saturday was great. I knew all the acts mostly all day Saturday, so I was out there. I had too much fun. I had a little
too much fun. So,
there's no such thing, man.
Took a little trip, and then I had to bail out early.
Got to get out of here. Been there, done that. All right. So, man, tell me a little bit about going back to your record. Like, where did you record that?
I recorded it at a dude named Doug Onstott's house in Marengo, Indiana.
Okay.
He lives. It's bumfuck Egypt. I mean, he's got like a cave on his property and
no shit,
all sorts of shit. And I recorded it in his bedroom that used to be a garage, so it's all concrete floors, and like it's a place that you wouldn't think you could record in. But I mean, Doug's just he's so good at what he does. He's so talented.
I would have never guessed that.
I was gonna say the same thing. I never would have thought that's recorded because I listened to it on the way over today. You sound great, man. All the vocal production, we talked already about your vocals, but the vocal production on that is really
I think
cool.
I think that's the the main reason that the album sounds so good is because of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds. I mean, and you're the one singing and writing, but yeah, I mean, he did a great job. Everything about that sounds good. There's talking about a lot of people don't sing like you. Also, a lot of people don't have vocal production like that. It just it sounds great. I mean,
and there are layers.
There's
It's
so many layers.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That's like
Yeah.
I wish I could sing and do that better. I hate doing backing vocals. I always feel like a fool, man. But you. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, Ann. Like, can we do that again? But it's killer, man. Every song, like all the vocals, all the everything. I just can't believe that was made at somebody's house. I'm about to pick your brain after this and go hit him up to do it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that was done on a concrete floor.
Yeah,
but even the vocals was done in the same room, not
Same
padded,
day.
Nothing crazy.
No, I mean he has some towels hung up, and that's it. You know, I mean it's crazy what and you'll think he's nuts, you know, by the shit he'll make you do, you know, but it's all in his head and it comes out perfect, you know. Like stand over here on this mic in this part of this room, and it's just in a weird kind of tight space, but it fucking works, you know.
Yeah,
and
it probably creates the layers he was looking for. You know, I've seen a video talking about vocal production, doubling your vocal, and then taking 5-6 feet back and singing it, and then another 5-6 feet and singing it again, and just creating this layer and distance and air about it.
Mhm.
It sounds like he was creating something like that with it.
yeah.
You know, it kind of also sounds like you are playing an open tuned guitar with your voice in a lot of it, if that makes any sense. Like with some of the vocal lines and the swells and stuff like that. Maybe I could attribute that to sounding like the fullness of an open tuning guitar.
Yeah, I noticed it's a lot easier to sing over open tuning guitars because it does allow you to kind of get a little bit more creative with it. Whereas like playing a full chord, it's gonna be it's gonna be different.
So what about the writing on that last tune? Tell me a little bit about like the writing.
I wrote that. I spent some time down in Nashville quite often, and because I live in Mortons Gap, and it's only like an hour and a half from Nashville, and so I've spent a lot of time down there. And you know, of course, it's a music town, but you see your most of your talent is not on Broadway at all, and you'll see these homeless guys that could just fucking play any one of them people under the rug, and you'll never know it, and you never know their names, and that's kind of what that song is about. Rosie in a skirt is actually it's slang for a wild Irish rose in a paper bag. And so that's Rosie in a skirt, and I didn't know that until my dad had a buddy named Bear Trap, and he came over to the house, and he was an alcoholic, but he got cirrhosis of the liver. He was like, yeah, I can't drink whiskey no more, so I got this Rosie in a skirt, and he's drinking Wild Irish Rose, which is pretty much fucking whiskey. You know what I mean? For those of you who don't know, Wild Irish Rose is just like, I think it's 40 proof, 30 proof wine, if you call it that. The flavor's red. Like, that's the flavor of the wine. Like,
Definitely
it's
just alcohol.
It's brown, too. It's not even red. It's like you pour it in a glass, and it's got, like, it's brown.
It's like Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
But yeah, that's kind of what that song is about, just because it kind of sucks, because Nashville, it's a beautiful city, but it's so weird.
Yeah.
That you'll walk right over these people that are, in my eyes, bigger stars than those motherfuckers in those other bars. And those other people deserve those spots. Don't get me wrong.
They're
like
hustling.
those are talented people, but it's just odd to me.
You know, that's Nashville's an interesting place to me, because I think it used to be one of those like I think about like Church Street Blues and some of those guys down there during those days, and think it was about the music. It wasn't about selling alcohol or the restaurant or 3-story Eric Church's new place
Contracts.
It's just it wasn't about that. It was about like it was about the music. It was about playing all the time, and they weren't making money. And a lot of those people up and down those bars, man, they ain't making money. They're making whatever tips they can get, and off whatever tips roll through. But yeah, man, I think that it like what I think of when I think of Nashville now is every time I roll in, there's like 30 cranes building something new.
Yeah.
And it's the wildest. Yeah. It's hard to believe country music, or especially like heartfelt gut punch, country music and outlaws saying all that can come from a place that is as built up as that is now. And it's shiny and flashy. And
rents $3,500 a month.
I mean, seriously, you might as well live in LA.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, man. And Nashville's become weird to me. I agree. It's become it's shiny.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, I'm with you too, man. The last place I'd want to be there if I'm there is on the Strip somewhere doing that thing. And that's not just because I'm old now, you know. It just doesn't sound fun anymore, man.
It ain't.
So how much time are you spending down there?
None now. I mean, a year ago, a year and a half ago, I was down there probably every weekend, every week. But then, I got a job back home, and kind of was like, I don't really see a point in being down here that often anyways, because, the gigs that you do get, like you said, they're not really, it's not really profitable to be driving all the way down there and playing gigs. You're getting paid nothing. And then, of course, they want you to wear certain things and skinny jeans and shit. Brush your hair and all that shit. I won't do all that,
I agree with you wholeheartedly, man.
So I've not been down there in a bit.
Yeah, dude. At some point, it becomes nonsensical to go, I'm gonna go play this show in Nashville at a spot that's not somewhere where somebody, because I don't think you get discovered by like playing a gig and having somebody go, I'm gonna sign you,
Yeah, no. Like I played a show on Broadway with my buddy Sam Roark, and she moved out of Nashville even, and we played at a place on Broadway. We were so excited. We're like, oh my God, like this is it. We're fucking made it. And no one pays attention, because it's not about music on Broadway anymore.
No. No, I think like those dives, the best thing about if you know somebody in Nashville and they tell you where to go. Yeah. Hey, don't go there, go here. Yeah. Go to this cut. This is where all the players go on a Wednesday night. Yeah. Because they're still in town, not on a gig run or doing anything like that. I mean, I think that's the deal. Yeah. So, well, man, do you want to play another one for us?
Yeah, I'll play another one.
What you got for us?
I'm gonna play one that I wrote a little bit ago. It's a little bit more folky than my normal shit.
All right, that'd be interesting. Yeah. What's it called?
It's called End of the World.
End of the World.
Sunken eyes and grass gets greener and the knees get weaker as we fall. All my time seems to coincide with it all. The riding of the sun and the letting of the blood as we run. Higher ground, I follow the sound of you, of you, of you. I'll follow you to the end of the grass gets greener and the knees get weaker as we fall. All my time seems to coincide with it all. The riding of the sun and the letting of the blood as we run. Higher ground, I follow the sound of you, of you, of you. I will follow you in the world. The grass gets greener and the knees get weaker as we fall. And all my time seems to coincide with it. Riding of the sun and the letting of the blood as we run. Higher ground, I follow the sound of you, of you, of you. I'll follow you in the world.
Oh my god, dude. I'm glad you didn't stop.
If you're looking for one of the most beautiful and playable custom acoustics on the planet, look no further than Ed Rice at Toe Ear Guitars. Ed is a true artist. transforming exotic woods into magnificent, sweet-sounding instruments. Go to toirguitars.us, that's TOIRGUITARS.us, and contact Ed today.
Neil said nice right in the middle, but that was very nice.
That ending was even nicer.
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
Dude, wow. Dude, that's crazy.
Great tune, man.
Oh, shit. That was...
Another just great vocal performance there, dude. There's just not people that can sing that way. It's so cool to see.
It was interesting, like, that's a different approach for you. Like, especially musically, but still somehow had the vocal, like, push through it. It was just wild, man. That's awesome. Beautiful tune. You haven't recorded that, have you?
No. I'm planning on putting out another like little EP, like a folk EP.
Oh, okay.
And I've half-assed recorded it, but nothing set in stone.
Need to go back up to Marengo.
Yeah.
And go hang out.
Go back Marengo way.
There you go, man. So now you used to play with Possum Junction, right? Or
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm good buddies with them, and I've played with them, and I recorded On the Run.
That's what it is.
Their single.
That's
with
what
them.
it was.
And actually, on the recording that I have of that song, it's not finished, but it has a lead on it from Dev.
Okay.
Actually, on guitar.
All right. Dev was in here, man. He talked super highly about
I love
hanging out with you. And,
Yeah. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Didn't he live somewhere in Indiana?
Well, he lived in Birdseye, but he lives in Tazewell now,
Okay.
which is all the same fucking place.
So what inspired the folk EP?
I mean, I think I write more songs and like that than I do anything else. Just because it's something I enjoy. I'm a huge folk fan. I love, like, John Prine's one of my biggest inspirations.
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded by folk musicians,
Yeah.
and folk music, and so it just kind of makes sense, and it's something that I enjoy, writing and performing and stuff. And I don't really do it that often because it's I guess it's not really my wheelhouse, but I enjoy it. So I think it'd be more of an EP just because it's fucking fun and would be easy to go through because it's not going to have as many layers and all that bullshit. I can just sit there and run through it and fucking record 6 songs in a fucking day instead of over a 5-month period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
All right. So this is an open question for both you guys. Speaking of kind of just releasing records now, a lot of people most people I think release EPs or singles.
Yeah.
The full length record's kind of gone by the wayside, right?
Hopefully not, but
I mean,
it's kind of what it seems like.
It would. I think especially like if you're in a creative zone where you're pumping out songs, maybe release EPs and then release a record out of 2 or something. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it these days, and there's so many people that release all the time. Yeah, I would hate like you're throwing your EP on Blue. That's the name of it. BLE.
It's German so it's pronounced Blau.
Blau. Okay.
But it's German for blue.
All right, Blau. All right. I knew I was doing it wrong. But it's so digestible. You throw it in, you go for a car ride to your destination almost, and when you get out, you've almost listened to the whole thing, even if you're in town. And I feel like you don't miss a song when you have it in that format. I love full length records too. Don't get me wrong. It feels like so many songs get passed by that deserve time.
Yeah, and that is a good thing about just releasing EPs and singles is there's no more like B-sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B-sides can be singles now.
Yeah. And like, I mean, are you an independent artist? Like,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. I pay for all my shit, so I can't. I wish I could afford a fucking album, but I can't. So I can afford singles once every couple months. Is like all I can afford.
But then there's also no one breathing. There's no like now it's so everybody's so you can independently release music now. Like, you don't have anybody breathing down your fucking neck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anybody that's like, you know, you don't have to release a full album because if you don't fucking want to, you know.
And you can do whatever you want. Or I know people that have released whole albums, just each song as a single, and then the last song is like album release.
Yeah.
And just do like that over like
dig
10 months
that.
or
See,
something, and just once a month. But
I think like there's something to that.
yeah, I mean, because when you get and you want people to listen and stuff too. If you put everything out, it's just kind of sometimes out, and then it's hard to like push each individual song. There's so many things that go into it. That's kind of the thing I found most interesting getting into music is like everybody does stuff. There's 1,000 ways to do something. Everybody does something different, and you kind of just have to figure out what works best for you.
And it's so hard to push your own shit nowadays because of algorithms and
it's crazy. Yeah.
You know, if you want to boost this, pay for this, and then when you don't pay for it, all of a sudden it doesn't get as much traffic, and it's
100% fact. And then you go, well, because like Brad and I have when we started this thing, a big thing to us was we don't want to pay for anything. We don't want to pay for advertisements. We don't want to pay for followers. We don't want to do anything. And we never have. We haven't paid for a Facebook ad. We haven't paid for anything. But because of that, it's a slow grow, which it has, but we've done it the right way. But like I'll look at my engagements and it'll be, 500 views on a video of mine, which is, I don't run the account, Brad does. So he gets all the big views. And it'll say 471 followers and then 29 people that don't follow you. And then the next video will be almost the same. I'm like, are those the same 29 people that don't follow me? Am I stuck in a 500 person freaking loop? Yeah. So it's such a catch-22. Like, do you do it and hope that you're getting true generated?
It's hard. It's really hard to know. Like, just like for me personally, I've like pitched a playlist and like hustled to try to like get on stuff, and I've gotten some listens, but is also like, is it like people put it on while they're like cleaning their house while they're on the playlist? I mean, I get like some streams, but is it like fans? It's like it's hard to do, and so
I think that's all right. As far as like the playlist thing, because I think if you get on a playlist, if you end up on one of my playlists on just because I'm listening to something and it goes into that radio or whatever, and it's good, I'm gonna be like, who's that? What's that? I will stop and check it out so I can know what to do and listen to again. So I think there's some coolness to that, because I do think people will be caught off guard if your stuff's good enough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, there's 1,000. When I was on here before, like I mentioned to you earlier, my wife's a vet, and she would tell you there's more than one way to skin a cat, and so you just got to get it done.
Coming from a vet.
Oh shit!
And dude, there's like, what is your success? Number one, what are you looking for? What do you want to do? What is are you trying to be a top 40 radio artist? Are you trying to make a living playing music and gaining real fans that love your stuff? That's what I was going to say. It's so wild and wide of people, what people like, I mean, they're, I think everybody, all the fellas in the room anyway, play. I don't know if you play or not, but just clap. That's good enough. And we all play different type of stuff, and somebody may love you and hate us.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because
I've had that experiences. It shows when I've gone out with people and like someone maybe that you're like, that guy's kind of oddball. It's like people fucking love it or whatever. You never know. Like, it's like you just run into the right people. Sometimes
I get that a lot. There was one time I played a show in Birdseye, and I got off stage, and it was a pretty good amount of people there, and this woman came up to me. And you can tell she's pretty inebriated, and she's like, "Oh, honey, you sing so well. That was so good, but you gotta cheer up. I want to dance, not kill myself." And I was like, "Oh fuck." I took it as a compliment, like, at least it made you feel something, I guess. But yeah, some people will just think you're fucking weird, and I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that means you're doing something right.
Yeah,
you know?
you don't want to be the same as everybody else. You want people to be like, what the fuck's this guy up to a little bit? Because there is a lot of the same, and that's kind of the cool thing too about today's world. I mean, there's a lot of, we talk about music and like how you pitch stuff, but even with all that, I think it's cool that now pretty much anyone can make music if they want to, either at their house or you can find a buddy who can record. You can make really good shit at a house. Like it's really crazy. So anyone can make music, and so there's a huge pool of people, and so you do have to like find ways to stand out. You want to be different. If you're the same, I think I'd seen one time that like every day on Spotify, there's like 50,000 hours of stuff uploaded or something. So it's like, how do you get heard? How do you? How do you care?
And YouTube videos are worse. It's like a million minutes of video uploaded every minute. It's like, how's that work? It's wild. So, but everybody has a cup of tea, and I think that like if you can figure out, I think a lot of it is knowing who you are as an artist, who you are as a performer, what that you want to do, and your belief in that. I think a lot of people can see if you believe in what you're doing when you're playing. Like it's not hard to buy into what you're doing. As an
instantly. I mean, instantly. If I was like, you talked about like in Nashville, like houseless people and stuff playing. If I saw you playing on the street, I would stop instantly, man. Like you got something very special that you just don't see, and so it's cool. And I've been lucky to run into a few people kind of like that around where you see him and you're just like, holy shit, this guy has something that not a lot of people have, because there's a lot of people around with, I mean, just in this city, tons of talent here, but you definitely have something with your voice that is not matched by anyone that I know.
Not normal, man.
I appreciate that, man.
It's not normal.
You're fucking weird.
It's weird, man. The vocals are too good. I don't know how to think about it.
Yeah, if I catch a show of yours, that's what I'll say afterwards. I'm like, great set, man, but the vocals were just too good. It just made me want to kill myself.
Most musicians that listen to it want to kill themselves for different reasons. It's not because the songs are sad. It's because they're like, why am I singing?
It's like, damn, I suck. I gotta. It's it for me.
You know what make me a better vocalist? An interpreter, because it takes all the attention off you, and they just go do some interpreting, and you're like, Wu-Tang Clan's interpreter is the baddest one of all time, by the way. All right, we have this new segment, Weston's Questions. I got to ask you a few questions. I think you probably were privy on the email if you paid attention to it. Here's the true test. Do I remember the questions?
Oh.
All right, number one. Something non-musical that would be interested, that people would be interested in knowing.
Interested in knowing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's phrased like that. We should know about you, but that feels weird, dude. All right, you get the rest of them. Then you get to ask the rest of them since you got the notes.
I don't know. I'm a pretty avid reader.
Really?
I read a lot.
Like, what do you read?
Man, I read a lot of fucking like poetry. Shit. Yeah.
Really?
Which is weird for a construction guy, I guess.
No, man. Dude, everybody's got their own, like I said, everybody's got their own cup of tea, their own lane.
I love horror books too. And
who's your favorite author? Non-poet.
Non-poet? I've been really into Clive Barker.
Oh, okay.
Clive Barker. Here's lately. He's a horror writer.
Okay, what type of books?
Well, he wrote. He helped write the movie Hellraiser.
Oh, okay.
His books are kind of gory, fucking horror books.
All right.
But I'm really into him. But then on the other spectrum, I love like just classic like Oscar Wilde. I read the fuck out of some Oscar Wilde.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that is interesting.
Yeah, like I'm not much of a reader, but I honestly, listening to your lyrics, I feel like you can tell that you read a book or two.
That
like
you think?
It's almost ridiculous how much time I spend way more time on lyrics than I do anything else.
You
like,
can
in
tell.
fact,
Yeah.
I write more. I guess it's poetry, but I don't write it as poetry. I write it as lyrics, and then like I'll put music to it one day, and I got a whole fucking book of shit that just is never gonna do anything.
That's how I started writing, man. In high school, I don't know why I started writing poetry, but I was just it actually probably sounds it was a lot of misery. I wrote about how miserable I was, and so I still got those books. But yeah, dude, from like 14 to probably 17, just poetry, which ended up turning into songs. But yeah, I have no idea why. I never really read poetry. But I can listen to the hell out of an audiobook, dude. I listen to more audiobooks than anybody. I feel like I read.
I can't do it.
Yeah?
I can't listen to audio. I won't pay attention.
I say I'm bad about I don't read either, but yeah, if I try to listen to a book, I would just my mind wanders.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
My wife loves audiobooks. She'll be listening to like Game of Thrones while we're trying to sleep, and I'll be laying there and they're like, some crazy, brutal shit.
They're all these things. They're long enough to where you don't have to listen to everything. You'll catch up on even if you miss it, you'll get it. You'll get it. I mean, if you watch Friends for 3 seasons and then miss 5 episodes and then watch the 6th episode, you're pretty much going to get where it's at, right?
I guess that's another interesting fact. I've never really watched an episode of Friends.
Huh.
Never like a full episode of Friends.
That seems almost impossible, but that's crazy.
It is almost
it's just on all the time.
Yeah, accidentally.
Yeah, it's just as a kid, it would just be like on TV, just watch it. Like I wouldn't just be on. I wouldn't get up and change the channel.
I watched every episode of Saved by the Bell 6 times. I know that.
I do like that fucking show.
That's a great show, dude. Zach Morris is my hero.
Classic.
All right, what's the next question?
I'm on the questions now because even I'm the fill-in, but apparently you're not fucking prepared or anything.
Never ready for this thing.
So the next question is just tell us about like a nightmare gig or just a terrible experience you've had on stage. And if you can't think of one right away, I'll say I thought of kind of a funny, more awkward one if you can't think of a terrible one.
Not necessarily bad. It was just weird. I played a show. It was with Possum Junction, actually.
Okay.
And this dude, Brian, hired us to, it was me as a solo act and then Possum Junction. And he hired both of us to play his son's, I think, 3rd birthday party. And it was a kegger,
Yeah.
But that was his excuse to have a kegger. It was his son's birthday.
Sounds good.
Like the boy wants a keg.
Yeah.
Slip and slide and carry.
And there was a pretty good amount of people there, probably like 20, 30 people. And I got up there and played. And after every song I got done, there was nothing. No claps, no fuck yous, no nothing.
Yeah, that's worse.
They
Yeah,
just
that's worse
sit
than a
there
fuck you
and
when
just
it's
watch you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like you're at the zoo, like in a cage.
And then like you try to do crowd work, you're trying to like, hey, how's everybody doing tonight? And then fucking nothing. I'm like, motherfucker, am I bombing that fucking bad, man? And I do the whole set, nothing. I get off stage and then like people start coming up to me like, oh, I really loved your set. Like that was amazing. Wow, that was really great. Like as if they had been cheering the whole fucking time. I was like, all right, that's fucking weird, but all right. And then Possum Junction goes up and they do the same exact fucking thing to them. And then after they get done, they fucking go up there and like, oh damn, that was so fucking awesome, man.
Like
y'all got some
respect.
I don't know. It was bizarre. I don't know if it's bad, but it was just bizarre. And I think most of the bad gigs I've had are all in my head. Like I truly, I played one gig and got so mad that I threw the guitar and almost fought a dude with grills because I thought I fucked up so bad. And I listened to the recording back and I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad, but it's just.
All right, well, what led to almost having to fight a dude with grills?
Oh man,
Paul Wall started talking shit.
It was Paul Wall, Alabama Paul Wall. Yeah, it was some dude from Alabama. I played at a festival and I don't know. I was pretty drunk. I drank some moonshine. That's the only liquor I can't really drink because it gets me too fucked up and rowdy. And I drank some moonshine, so I was upset. And he thought that I was talking about him. And I was like, I'm not talking about you, man. He was in his tent and he poked his head out and he was like, well, you ain't gonna be talking about me, man. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. And I like walked over there and there's a whole altercation. But yeah, it was the whole thing.
Now we know
he didn't do nothing. So apparently Huntsville, Alabama ain't shit.
His grill was probably fake too.
Yeah.
I was crooked. It was crooked. He didn't even fix his teeth.
He's like, do not break my plastic
He's a nice
grill.
guy, actually. He ended up buying a shirt and all sorts of shit. I don't mean to talk shit about the guy, but that did happen.
He walked over and went, all right, this dude's bigger than I thought he was. Can I buy a shirt?
That's kind of how it went, man.
Yeah,
Buy a shirt.
I can imagine.
And he's like, do you want me to pick your tailor back up? Now we know why the neck on the tailor's messed up.
He all fucked up multiple times. That's happened.
Wait, you were going to, well, you had a funny gig story, didn't
Oh,
you?
I mean, I was just saying when I was on, I couldn't think of a whole bunch of terrible ones. I will say I think it's funny that you're like, oh, I almost fought somebody, but that's the second story after just like silence. Like, you just, what the fuck? I've been to so many shows where people were silent as fucking ain't nobody tried to fight me. But it's terrible. And at a party too, man, you think they'd just be like having fun, but it's just like,
No,
you're like,
man.
how y'all doing? Just
Yeah, nothing at all. And I
I've
was
had
like,
that, man. It's
I was
it's
like,
like it makes me want to just crawl into a hole.
But it was so weird because I expected like, oh, I'm gonna get off stage and nobody's gonna come talk to me because like, okay, that's fine. But then people were coming out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, it's like, where were
Have
y'all
y'all
5
never
months?
been to a show before? Like, is this your first time?
Which is funny because I feel like the opposite usually happens too, where just everybody's talking the whole time.
Yeah,
So it's just like,
and that sucks.
There's always something.
That's happened before.
That
And you're
hurts. That hurts more than the silence.
yeah, I would rather you be silent than just not paying fucking attention.
Yeah, I'd rather you be silent than whisper to your neighbor after I'm done. Like, I can't let him know. That, I'd rather that. All right, Mr.
Yeah,
Questions.
we'll continue on. Question 3: who's the last local artist you listened to?
Local, it can be even local.
Like, yeah,
for
local
you,
for you,
local
just
here,
like
local
regional
wherever.
to your area.
Well, on the way up here, I was actually listening to Dev on this podcast. His version of On the Run.
Okay.
Because I think I enjoy it better than the recorded version.
Really?
Honestly, I think he knocked that fucking thing out of the
You know,
park.
it's hilarious. He was like, yeah, put these together like today,
Yeah.
just kind of thinking about it because we don't do them like this. So I
Yeah.
just, I figured these out.
Yeah, he's gotten so much. He was already an amazing musician, but he's gotten so good at guitar.
Yeah.
And yeah, him arranging that was just amazing. So we were listening to him, and then I got a buddy, Joe, who plays in a punk band from Louisville. Name was it Plague 9? And yeah, I was listening to them on the way up here. Some demos that he sent me,
Oh, sweet.
and yeah, they're actually playing with her dad's band, Eviler Knieveler. He's in a punk band.
Evil
Eviler
Knieveler.
Knieveler, yeah.
That's a great band name.
Yeah, isn't it? That's like a perfect fucking
Eviler
band name,
Knieveler.
man.
Dude, that's killer. Where are they playing? Portal? No.
You know where Hopkinsville's at?
Yeah.
They're playing down in Hopkinsville. It's a badass thing. It's called Dougtopia. It's a dude. It's like a BMX. He's built BMX ramps in it's like his backyard,
Oh, shit.
and he has like a fucking like a punk festival. And
Oh.
it's apparently I've not been, but I've heard that it's just fucking.
Are you
killer.
going this year?
Oh fuck yeah, I'm
Oh,
going.
sounds fun.
There's no waivers or nothing, man. I gotta go. You know? I can't ride a bike that well, but
I'll get fucked up on a bike. Man. They say you never forget to ride a bike. That's some bullshit. Like that's some bullshit. I'm 30 years old, and I'll tell you right fucking now, if I got on a bike, I'm
Be
getting
over.
road
Don't know how to
rash.
ride.
I'm getting tore up
Be
on a
over.
bicycle.
You know when they you watch somebody that gets on a bike and then rides off a like a little side like this table. They ride off this table and then the front wheel just goes straight down and they go over. That'd be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I hate bikes. I hate exercise in general. But fuck bikes. I hate that shit. I hate people on bicycles. Always. It pisses me off. I'm driving home and they're just wobbling. I'm like, get out the way. Like, I'm gonna run you over. Or running stop signs. That shit makes me so mad. Every day on the way home, this same fucking bicycle I pass on this every day, and he runs his stop sign. I'm like, I'm gonna hit you.
Well, here's the thing.
You gotta stop.
Bicyclists want you to know that you need to follow the rules of the road, but they refuse to follow the rules.
Yeah,
of the
I give
road.
them the finger all the time. Like I give at least 5 bicyclists the finger each week. Piss me off.
All right, so next time I hear
BMX
about
bikes are cool though. Yeah, fuck
bicyclists.
bicyclists. That shit. If I was a policeman, man, that's all I'd be doing is just bicyclists. So it'd be like run a stop sign, blue lights. It'd be like, what I do? Be like, you ran that fucking stop sign. Like,
Holy shit.
you gotta stop too, man. I don't like that shit.
next hit and run bicyclist, I'm really gonna question if
I'll
it's you or
stop.
not.
I'll stop. I mean, it'll be
I'll
his own
stop,
fault.
back up,
It'll be their
bank
fault.
on the back up, and then run back over.
I'm not
and then
stopping
I'll-
to help him. But I will
He'll,
stop.
he'll run right into the side of my car, and then he'll pay for the dent.
Sorry about
Running
that
the stop
mirror.
sign. I hate it. Bicyclists piss me off.
I don't even drive past Schwinn's. Oh man! All right, you want to play one more for us? No, actually, you got two more. You want to play another one for us?
Yeah, I'll play
All
another.
right, what you got?
It's actually off of my EP,
All right, what song? I know the CP.
Cigarette Jesus.
All right, I know that song.
Took the handful and swallowed down my throat. Taste the rotten earth from a rotten soul. Then starts to melt into the mirror as I stare in my eyes and my soul shivers. Try to spit my words through this thick ether. My mind's got my tongue tied with shame and leather. Here I am crying, somebody save me. Cigarette Jesus, this man who doesn't believe. Cigarette Jesus, cigarette Jesus, I'd follow a sinner of the sun. Cigarette Jesus, cigarette Jesus, I'd follow a sinner of the sun. Let the roots sow in well my backbone and my ribs. So long as cigarette Jesus shuts my eyes.
Crazy. Wow, man.
All right, so everybody watching, listening, doing all that stuff, tell them where they can find you. Make sure you pick up the 58 because I always forget this on this last part, and Brad cusses at me. Grab that thing. So, like anybody that wants to find you online, listen to you on this Spotify and all that, man, where can they find you?
You find me, just look up Peyton Boling. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Shazam. I don't know what that is. It's on there. Yeah, anywhere you find music. I think everything but SoundCloud.
I just remembered I forgot to ask you the most important question in the world. Is it true that you're a crypto billionaire?
Holy shit. How do you think I afforded these guitars?
I meant to open up with how the crypto fortune's going, man.
Yeah, well, you'll have to ask whatever Indian guy has my shit.
You look like you're rolling, man.
Dude, I saw that when I went to your page. I'm like, oh, I see what happened here.
Yeah.
I responded for a second. I was like, dude,
like,
you got rich?
Yeah.
Tell me how to do it.
Yeah, man. They got my shit.
They get everybody, man. It's just a matter of
So
time.
you have a new Instagram?
No, I'm
Still
not
the same one?
No, I'm not. I can't get back. I can't get it back.
You can't get on?
They won't let me back on. They hacked my shit and then put like a what is that, authenticator?
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah, that sucks. That's really terrible.
Yeah, like it's someone
New
else's
account
number.
time.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I've been really enjoying
Not
having
doing
social media.
It's probably
You know what I
awesome,
mean?
but for your shows, it probably
But
sucks.
music, my music career is
Yeah, if only you didn't
definitely
need
went
social
downhill.
media. Yeah.
Yeah.
Body is a temple, so I burn that fucker down. 'Cause I'm tired, head and constant down. The days will get brighter as the walls of this dark house. If I see one piece of sheetrock, I'm gonna blow my brains out. So hope you don't mind when I get fucked up and cry on the floor. I'm just trying to ease my mind and keep my blood from the pore. Out of slit of my main vein like I just broke it down. Thought of it's getting sweeter where I'm at now. 'Cause I can't help but cry when I wonder if I'll see what the world's got to offer. Can't retire till I'm 93. Who wants to live that long anyways? 'Cause the world is burning, what's flooding, we don't belong. So any God you know, Mama Earth's teeth run dry. You can call me cynical, baby, I really don't mind. I've just seen this world from the center of my blurred eyes, and I can't stop the wind, and I damn sure can't stop time. But my body is a temple, so I burn that fucker down. It's the only thing I can't control before I rot in the ground. temple, so I burn that fucker down. Let your favorite drink burn up all your favorite things. A million years on this earth, 7 more to think. Our body is a temple, so we burn that fucker down. If we treat it like her, it'll burn up faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah, man. Awesome, brother. Thank you for coming.